Okay, now dip that out of there.
Some more tips as we're doing this, just as things come to mind here. The other thing is you're going to want to kneel down to get these fish. You're in better control. I see people try to stand up. You're off balance. It just does not work, especially if you got a fish that's running heavily. You want to be here under control. You know what's going on. You can see what's going on. The line is head up in the hole. Another quick tip, it sounds simple, but it's critical, is if you have any breeze at all, keep the wind to your back. As you have a fish, as you're pulling off line, pulling him in, you can spool it out. It will coil out with the wind in front of you. It won't make a tangled up mess. That fish wants to run, he can run them coils right back down the hole. Otherwise the line's blowing all over, it's tangled in the tip up, it might wrap around your wrist. It's just never a good thing. So always try to keep the wind at your back. Yep. This particular tip up we're setting has a colored hook. There's various attractors I'll use. I'll go anywhere from a plain hook. You want a premium hook, you know, don't get cheap on hooks, whatever you do. You know, whether it's a Gamakatsu or a Daiichi or whatever you feel strongly about, go with the premium hook. Generally anywhere from a 2 to a 1/0, depending on the size of your chubs. As we set these, you'll see more. Sometimes I'll incorporate a small smile blade or a small bead in there, and it just adds a little more color and flicker to it as these chubs are swimming around, and you know, I think it can make a difference on certain days. They will straighten out once they're in the water. As you can see, they're a little bit stiff right now. They got to pop through some of that ice. Got the bobber in my mouth, thawing it out so the spring works. You notice just in, oh gosh, is that 30 yards, Dave? We probably went from, you know, 6 or 8 foot, I'll figure it out here when we pull this up, probably 10 or 12. There's weeds tucked in to this inside turn. There's rocks off a prominent point, and it's slowly going to taper into a sand basin. So what we're trying to do is cover a lot of different habitat type situations, and these fish will cruise around through here. A lot of the reason being is there's a lot of small bluegills and crappies in here. It's basically a buffet table along the edge of these weeds. So they'll linger out in this more open stuff during the day. You'll pop a few during the day, just some incidental fish. As the evening rolls in, you can just watch them climb up these tip-ups as they climb up closer here. So it's the best not to put all your eggs into one basket. Beauty of the tip-ups is you can cover more ground with them. Here in South Dakota, we're fortunate. We are allowed 4 lines apiece. So you're just looking at one person, you know, you've got one jigging rod, you just will have those other 3 lines working for you. So there's 6.
Kind of like planer boards in the wintertime.
Exactly. That's a good point. There's 12, and with setting that off the bottom, we probably dropped into 15 foot just in that 30-yard span. Another key to this system is do not be cheap. Have lots of bait. You will find that you're going to go through a ton of bait if you get in the right spot, particularly with pike and these smallmouth bass. In this neck of the woods, absolutely cannot leave a chub alone. So what we found is you really need to stock up on the bait to get down into the evening hours when you're getting a shot at your walleyes. One nice thing you'll see here is HT, they led the revolution in tip-up fishing, obviously with the introduction of the polar tip-up, which is most well-known tip-up out there, millions of them sold, but they have a kneeling pad, which is great, especially as the guy gets older. I alluded to the fact that you're going to want to be on your knees to have control over what's going on. This pad helps, it's waterproof. So get right down in here, take care of business the way I need to. You always want to take the time to skim this ice off of here. Helps several factors. Probably the biggest one is being able to see that fish. And we're in 2 foot plus ice here, so it is important to get their heads lined up. Another thing that I do You just took a little bit of line here. I run 10-inch holes. A lot of people think it's overkill. It's not. One, it allows you a little bit easier time lining these fish up, and two, as it gets colder during the day, and we're in very frigid conditions now, is it allow that hole to shrink up a bit, but you've still got a good sized hole to get some of these big fish up in. When you get big pike, it can make a big difference. We got this set. Another thing we should allude to on the efficiency, where these things really truly shine, and we're in cold weather right now. We're probably pushing 20 below yet here, but tonight it's going to be even colder. When you go to roll up, you literally, and I can show you how you do this, you roll this up, you simply pop the bobber off, you continue to roll it up, roll right up through your split shot, pop your bobber back on, tighten it up, toss it in your bag, you're gone. It takes 30 seconds to roll one up. Where your typical tip-ups are a tangled up mess, I can put a dozen in this bag. I've got side pockets for extra leaders, weights, bobbers, whatever I need to support the system. And it keeps things trouble-free. The problem with it, with the tip-up fishing, is a lot of people get frustrated.
I got too jumpy again, huh? Oh, wait.
You may swim back to you.
It's too big, though.
Yeah, it's still there. Just let it take a little more line here. It's still taking. A little guy. Very little. Good job. Perfect catch and release. Chub's in good shape. Set him right back down. Well, we just got the sun just finishing setting here. I have never personally got a decent fish on film at night. We're trying this with these lanterns. We're going to see how it's going to work as far as the lighting goes. Had a ton of small fish today. Some keepers, 15, 16 inchers, had one maybe 20 inch on the walleye side. A few pike, but we're fishing this sunset bite and hoping to maybe find a better fish. This fish is here yet. I'm going to be a little careful right now. We've been rushing some of these bites because we've had a lot of bites, just trying to keep up with the tip-ups. These bigger baits, you do want to let them take the bait, make sure they get it. This fish is ever so slowly rolling it. It's extremely cold out. I'm not going to pull it out and risk having it freeze and bind a little bit. I'm just going to let this fish take it for a bit. Set that in the hole. It has stopped turning now. I'm going to wait it out a little bit more. I don't know that this fish has that bait yet. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll run that, they'll stop and reposition it and take off again, and that's what I'm waiting for. I'm just trying to coax it into pulling some more line there, and it did take a touch more. There it's turning again. Yep. Just not sure what to do. Got her. This might be a little better fish. And it is. Not a huge fish, but a better fish. To be real honest with you, if this will show up on the light, this fish is just lightly hooked. You can see this orange hook here. If I'd have just rushed out to this tip up, grabbed it, I guarantee you we would have not got this fish. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind we would have missed this. So it does pay to have a little bit of patience with these fish. But just a nice quality fish. You know, maybe 20 inches long. Just a good fish. We'll let that go. We'll get this back down. This lake does have a reputation for some bigger fish. You know, we're going to let it get pitch black. Hopefully we can, you know, maybe get one in that 8-pound range. We'll let her go and get baited back up. Small. It might be a nice little eater though. Not quite. Not quite.
It's not bad.
Another smaller fish. It might be an eater there. Right.
You're hooked on that.
He's the right one. You guys can stop. Still taking line, so I know he's got it. This is a better fish. This is a much better fish. If I can get it in, this is what we want. I just want to try to keep that line out of your hole if you can. This is a good fish. A very good fish. Oh my God. That's what we're after, boys. This is what tip-up fishing and big chubs will do for you. Darkness, pick good structure, pick a good lake, do your homework, put in the work, and these are fish that anybody can get. You know, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to educate folks on how to do this. These fish are available. They're in lakes near you. We're not on anything special as far as the lake goes. This isn't a top secret spot. This is just simply techniques, putting in the time to fine-tune your locations, which you'll see on some of the earlier footage. What we did with our Vexilar is running around, finding edges of weeds, fine-tuning the structure. You know, this fish, gosh, that's all a 10. I mean, look how thick this fish is. Look at the belly sag on it. So this is just a nice,
Turn it to
nice
its back,
quality fish.
the width of the back.
We're in the glacial lakes of South Dakota here. You know, you're not going to catch fish like this every day. But if you employ some of the techniques that we've tried to pass along today, you know, there's a legitimate shot at these fish. There really is. You know, I do this a lot, have a lot of experience. We do end up with a fair amount of these. You know, another thing to be aware of is you want to put these fish back. There's absolutely no reason to take a fish like this and put a knife to it. You know, for a lot of folks, this is a fish of a lifetime. We just as well put it back, let somebody else have a shot at it. And then also the genetics of these fish we want to pass along as well. You know, she's going to spawn. Look at all the eggs in her. She's just plump. You know, these are definitely fish we want to put back. Occasionally maybe take one for the wall, but oh gosh, I just can't say enough about this. I was just telling Mark earlier, I've done this a lot of times. It's still just as exciting as the first one. Turn around, let this gal go like she should. My God. This is a 10-inch hole, folks, and she's trying to pull herself down. Look how she fills that hole. This fish is plenty healthy, and away she goes. Perfect. Well, we just had a better fish on there a little bit ago. Let's hope we can get another one. We got pitch black now. Just recently got dark. This is a crystal clear lake. It's known for a night bite. Just gonna see what we got going here. Yep, like that, there's one. Doesn't feel great, but it's got a ton of line out there. It's feeling better. Considerably better. A lot of shaking going on here. Unless we got a late northern, there's just a lot of head shake. Really close. Just a nice fish. Just a nice fish. Literally, folks, just a few minutes ago we had a fish that would easily top 10. This fish is, oh, it might go 5. You know, we've had a lot of 10-inch fish. We've had a lot of 13-inch fish, some 15, 16 inchers, a couple 20 inchers, obviously the very big one. Just a nice quality fish here. Once again, tip-ups are the key to it. We've been jigging our butts off all day. We've yet to get a fish anywhere near this quality. It's these big chubs. I feel these fish are, they're literally about overfed. So they're very selective in their feeding. They're lazy. I think a lot of times they won't run down a jig. You stick a chub in their face, they can look it over. I personally think they'll stare them chubs down for 10 minutes or longer, and then the chub will just do something wrong, wiggle wrong, you know, show itself to be vulnerable. They'll take these baits. Obviously, they'll suck them down. This fish completely has it buried. I'm just going to break it off, let her go, and maybe we can get another one tonight. If not, we've had a great day. Once again, this tip-up fishing is vastly, vastly overlooked. A lot of folks think it's just for pike fishermen. It simply is not. You can see the evidence in what we've been doing here. We'll turn her loose, and maybe we can get another one, maybe not, but it's been a great day. And away she goes.
Boy,
Well, we're just rolling these up. Is this the last one, Mark?
One
Or
more.
One more. We're just rolling these up for the evening here. We got another bite. We just will take advantage of it. They don't feel too bad. Not like the big fish we had earlier, but feels like a neater. Yep.
it's a little.
A late night pike, I'll be darned.
You gotta,
What are the odds of that? Little baby pike in the dark.
which would explain the run.
Exactly, yeah. We got here, it had a strong run, and that would explain that, but we'll let him go and roll up our other tip-ups and call her a day here. It's been a great day. Once again, these tip-ups, you know, folks, go out, get some, play around with them, use the tactics that we've explained, and you can do this yourself.